Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Dwayne Spin Stop. This is episode 9.
Woo.
And we have the wonderful Samantha Scott Blackhall here. And I'm so happy because we finally get to talk a little bit more about directing. Before we start, I always like to do this. I like to get my guests to choose between two decks of cards for their sort of just imagined fortune, take it or leave it type of fortune. So you have the Mermaids and Dolphins deck, which is a bit more fabulous.
Right.
And then you have the practical sort of animal with different traits.
Okay.
I kind of think I know what you're going to go
I
for.
was going to choose the animal.
Yes, I am correct. We are May babies. No, you're April.
I'm
You're an
April,
April baby,
but
we're a
still
Taurus.
Taurus.
We're Taurus, yeah. So while you think of your question to ask the universe, hopefully something I'm gonna ban the question when will we travel again, because everybody has been asking that.
Okay.
So while you think about that, I'm going to do a
Okay.
quick plug. So the video description in below will show you timestamps of what we're talking about. So feel free to hopefully not click on ahead if you want to review the episode, let's say. Okay, and while I'm also speaking of that, I want to talk about the sponsor for this episode. Thank you so much, Yishu, once again. This is another top that I'm wearing. It's they celebrate Oriental Asianness, and actually Sam asked about what I was going to be wearing, and she matched it so well. This is so cool. I really think this is such a...
It's sort of Japanese inspired or something.
And you look at the seams, like they're slanted, and I just love how it hangs. Like this also hangs like very, very matching. Very cool. We've just become prawns without heads. All right, so your question. So have a think about what you want to ask.
Right.
It can be generally anything.
Okay.
And I'm gonna shuffle the deck, and when you're ready, just tell me to stop.
Stop.
Okay. So do you want me to?
Just put it on top again.
You want to spread the deck, or you want to take that first
I just
card?
take the first card.
All right. Okay. Show everybody, and then read out to everybody what it says. Oh wait, what's your question first?
It's a koala.
What's the question?
So my question was, what kind of projects or what is important to do in the next 6 months?
Good
Just because
question.
there's a lot of change happening and no one really knows what's going on, and so I thought that would be a good thing to ask.
Good question, and you got a koala.
I
I've
know,
never seen that come up. So this is.
Oh my gosh, this is so
specifically
important.
for you.
So my koala, which says empathy, says speak less and listen more.
I really like that. I think empathy is such a valuable thing, especially for today. All right, so let's read your fortune.
Okay.
Do you want to read it, or do you want me to read it?
You can read it.
All right. Okay. So it's okay. So I'm like above a certain age, so this happens.
To me too.
It's really it's coming.
We
or
are
it's,
born on the same year,
yes.
I
Okay.
think.
Oh, all right. Okay. It seems that lots of folks use lots of words, many more than are really needed. It's rather narrow to consider communication to always be about words. You can fill the air with words and sometimes even use them to cloud deeper sentiments and feelings. Talking so much can take away from the elegant pleasures inherent in stillness. As the old adage, how do you pronounce that word? Adage. As the old adage goes, be still and know I am. Who's that from? Talk less and you'll find immense opportunities to not only listen but to really hear. Even though it might sound strange, you can even hear silence.
Wow.
Get to know others in a different way, ask simple questions, then tune in not only to the words they say, but more importantly to the subtle body language with which they express the words. You pick up nuances of feelings and meaning, some that even the speaker isn't aware of. Listen closely as you walk through the woods. You can hear the sound of your heartbeat and breathing, songs of the birds, and the whispery crunch as various critters make their way through the forest. Make it a point today to speak as few times as possible, and only just great for before an interview, only when absolutely necessary. Instead, use your ears, eyes, and physical senses as a conduit for a more profound connection with and understanding of the world around you.
Wow.
Additional associations: rest, detoxification, safety, sensitivity. That's your advice for the next 6 months. What do you
Rest
think?
sounds good to me.
Right.
What a great card. Oh, I'm so happy with that. Okay, let's leave that here somewhere.
Yes. I'll
that we
pick
can
that up.
always-
So
okay.
so does that show you some? I
Yes.
mean, does that point you in some
Yes,
direction?
yes.
How are you gonna?
Listen and rest and less words and more listening.
Great. Awesome.
Yay.
Okay, so the next thing we want to talk about is basically, I guess, for people who are interested in directing, we're going to explore that a bit more today in this episode. What your directing journey has been. It can be anything. It can be how you started, or you don't even have to touch into that. You can just talk about single projects, or even just how you developed an interest, in any order.
Well, when I was young, I loved theatre. Like, I was one of those drama kids in school, and choir and drama and all that kind of school, all those things in school. And then when I was doing my IB at United World College in Singapore, I tried my hand at directing, and it was a play called Ernie's Incredible Hallucination, something like that. And it was the first time I got to look at all the elements of theatre and bring it all together. So you had to know the work, you had to know the characters, you had to know the lighting and the set, and I just fell in love with the puzzling process of a play.
How old were you then?
I was 17 or 16 or 17.
And you had no experience with theatre or even
no, not
acting?
With theatre, yes.
Theatre,
so
yes.
I was mainly acting, and I loved acting.
Okay, so you were an actress.
Yeah, so I was doing all that. And then I thought, hey, what about this directing thing? So something clicked, and then I started looking for universities or some kind of college that I could learn directing in. And then I found a place in Australia, in Adelaide, and I went to study directing.
Very nice. And you knew after studying it that was something you just wanted to
I
continue
knew
doing?
before I even started studying it that this is something that I wanted to do. In fact, when I got to Australia, because I could only get in via an audition, and also, I mean, I'm not the academic type. That's why I really love and respect people who might not have the grades, but they have the passion. Because to me, it's really, if you love what you do, you will go far. It's, how hard do you want to work at it?
Yeah.
So I was terrible at maths and geography, right? But loved and excelled in drama and music and English, literature as well. So when I went to audition, they thought I was auditioning to be an actor, because that's all I had done. And I said, no, I'm here to be a director. And I wasn't going anywhere until I got into the directing course. And I think they just saw how much I wanted it. So they opened up a new place for me in the directing stream.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So how does one audition to be a director?
Well, they said, okay, we need to do another interview process with you. And they asked really difficult questions about process. And I guess they want to know how your mind works. What's important to you? Is it about you, or is it about what you are going to do? I think that's important as a director.
Right.
Because if you want to be a director because, want to tell people what to do, then you're not going to go far. No one's going to respect you.
Right. What did you say to them? What was the thing that you wanted to do? Was it for you already about life, about representing life, or
I think it was about how to tell stories, and it's always been that for me. In everything I do, it's about what is this story going to tell, and how is it going to affect the people watching it. And that's when you have conversations and debate, and that's why theatre is so important. Yep,
for sure. I thought they were going to put you through a test somewhat similar to what I'm going to put you through at the end of this episode, which is, I guess it's not the professional way to test the director, but I thought it would be so much fun. So stick around for that, because we're going to I'm going to give Sam a nursery rhyme, and then a biopic to cast for, and then more of an epic movie to cast for, and then she has to, from here, you can see them, yeah, so I've got little characters already, and she has to choose from this cast, and then we'll talk about the casting process, and like what we will delve into the mind of Sam to see what she's thinking when she casts for someone.
So I was plugging your cut.
Disney, yes. And maybe some of you are here because you're going to work with Sam in a production, and you want to get a gist of how Sam is like. So I'm sure you by now are comforted by the fact that she's very, very friendly and very nice to work with. I've had the honor as well. So what excites you, I guess, the most about directing, in terms of like, is it reading the script, or is it everything?
I mean, okay, it sounds so cliche to say everything, but it really is, because first of all, I probably fall in love with the script. So what is in the story? What does it want to talk about? What is its themes? And that to me will relate to how an audience receives it. So if I know it's something current or interesting, then that's kind of the first love. And then how does one, as a director, bring that to life on stage to keep an audience invested in that story process? So yeah, and then of course, then working with actors, I love working with actors. And then there's the lights and the sound and the set. So I'm one of those directors who just loves being a part of how everything happens and bringing it together. Having a vision of what it will look like, but being flexible to let it change along the way when designers come in with their ideas and actors come in with their ideas, and suddenly you've grown. This script just it grows like a baby.
Yeah, I mean, you learn so much from working with different creatives, right?
Yes.
But what if you get a script that you don't like? Then how do you?
Well, that's the thing. I tend to not take on scripts I don't like.
That's important.
So, yeah, I think so. I think it is your responsibility as an artist to not say yes to everything if you know you can't honor that either script or idea or process. And someone else can step in and do it well because they like it. So, I mean, I have said no to certain projects where I just feel like, you know what, someone else is going to be a better person for this. And it's not, it's not about me. It's about the work. At the end of the day, everyone in a production is in it because they want to kind of see the same end. So as the starting person for that, you just have to be super clear you want to do it.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I also agree, there's no point directing something you have no passion for, right? What can you say is like when you started out as a director or in your early days or even along the way, what has surprised you or what has been unexpected about directing that you never thought of being a part of directing? Is there anything, or is it kind of everything you expected?
I think there's a lot of surprises along the way, just because you're not going to know it intimately until you start. And then because different people are part of that process, things do change. And if you can't accept that change, you're just going to freak out and be like, I don't know what I'm doing. And
so
as a director, it's a massive thing to be adaptable, flexible, but still hold on to why you chose to do it in the first place.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So as long as
you were saying, sorry.
Yeah,
you were saying you can't just. Sorry, I was just trying to lead you back so you don't forget. You were saying you can't just. You were saying you can't just.
You can't just not like why you chose it.
Right.
Did I go off the point?
No. I know. I'm sorry. I just cut you off and then I cut you off again. But so adaptability is one big thing.
Yeah.
So was there anything else that was unexpected besides, like, did you expect to? I'm gonna say this. You probably, as an actor, I'm gonna say this. Did you expect to work with different egos? Like creative egos.
You will. I mean, if you're thinking of being a director, you will definitely work with people and personalities that are different to yours, and sometimes they have different opinions, and I think you just have to respect that everyone, because they're so invested in it, they have their own ideas and what they want to do with it, and there is a lot of management involved. Managing egos or managing personalities, managing people's passion as well. Like, they could feel really strongly about doing it a certain way, but then you have to have that overall eagle-eye vision about it and go, is that gonna deter us from where we need to go? Is that so? It's like playing Tetris with people and parts and making sure things fit, because otherwise you'll have a gap. And then how does one build a strong foundation? So yes, those were some surprises, the people that you work with.
Right.
Yeah.
But your style is also to be pretty empathetic and flexible. I mean, there are directors though that just plow through, right? They just like, nope, this is what I want. This is you. Listen to me.
Yeah.
That's it, right?
I've been in
and that has
instances.
worked for some?
Yeah, I've been in instances where you have, say, 3 weeks to put up a show.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not a lot of time. That's like 15 days, and you've got to get everyone where they need to be in a very short amount of time. In those cases, you have to be a little bit brutal,
Right.
and say, I hear what you're saying. I know where you want to go, but I don't think it fits, and we need to drop that, and you need to rethink.
Right.
And a lot of the time with professional actors, they get it. They go, okay, yes, and then you get back on the same page. Because if you take the time to kind of explore, and then 3 days later, and then you're down to 12. Yeah.
All right. Great thoughts. The next thing I wanted to ask you, and let me do this really quick, is working with a writer. With as opposed to the writer not being there versus the writer being part of the process. What are your thoughts about that? Do you enjoy working with the writer? In general, are you open to it, or do you prefer that, or like what? Or do they get in the way? Like
I think it depends on the writer.
Okay.
So I have a good relationship with Jean Tay, for example, and we worked together on a play called Smarty Pants, the Smarty Pants and the Swordfish, which was a play essentially about bullying. But set around the story of Nadim and the Bukit Merah, the story of Red Hill, which is about a little boy who, in a way his life was sacrificed because he had an idea to save the village, but the Sultan didn't want any child to be revered more than him. And anyway, it's a little, if you know it, it's a Singapore folktale, but working with Jean on that was wonderful because we would try something on the floor, and if it didn't work, we'd go back to her and she'd suggest a change. But that open communication was so important in making the script better. So if everyone is okay with exploring, then it's great. It's great working with the writer in the rehearsal. But if the writer wants to be a director, very difficult.
Yes.
It's very difficult because then your actors get confused. They don't know who to listen to because the writer is as important in the process.
Right.
Yeah.
So the short answer is depends on the writer, right?
It does.
But you are open to it.
Yeah, definitely.
Because sometimes there are nuances in the writing. The writer's like, no, why did you miss this out? Put it in.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it can be useful, sometimes it can be against the vision, right?
Yeah. So, I guess that's the thing about theatre, which I love, is it's so, and it should be collaborative, but with someone who can steer and someone who can rein in everything that happens. I think that's important about a director, that they have to be strategic as well, about the process, where they're going, how they need to get there. So, I mean, empathy, we talked about, empathy was my card, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, listening is important as a director because everyone should be heard, No one's there to be robots, they're there to create.
It's hard. I mean, it's the time crunch, and there's so many things going on at the same time, and it's hard. Kudos to being a director.
Yay!
And speaking of which, we're going to talk about Monster in the Mirror, which was done by Bite-Sized Theatre, right? Is that their? Oh yeah.
I'm sending them hearts.
Oh, okay,
if they're
alright.
watching.
Oh, Rayshan did this to me, and I forgot what it meant, and then now I forget again. So I was just like, "What, you asking for money?" I asked. She screamed at me. She said, "No, that's love." And
That's love.
I was like, "Oh, that's love, huh? I thought you were asking for money." Okay, lots of love to Rayshan, Terrence, and there are 4 of them, right?
Yes, Rayshan, Terrence, Tanya, and Michelle.
Right, Michelle who composed the music. What was that experience like? Did they approach you?
Oh my goodness, I love them so much. They are such a beautiful individually, and then as a collective, you should see them work together. They are just so giving. as a team. Like they will just give each other space to explore and discover and not let anyone fall. You know what I mean?
Wow.
They're just there for each other, and I felt privileged to be a part of that process because they kind of brought me into their little bite-sized family.
Wow.
It was cute because they approached me for a venue, and then they shot me a surprise, which was, would you also be our mentor? So
Right.
I wasn't expecting that, but I had loved the story. I loved what they wanted to do with it, who they wanted to reach out to, because I mean, for those who don't know, it is a play that has themes of mental health, and self-image, and it's a lot of things that young people today struggle with, and so it was an opportunity to use art to heal.
Right.
So that to me is why we do what we do. So I was just so excited to say yes and be a part of their growth.
Right. What kind of things did you help them with? I mean, this was such a stunning play to watch. I mean, I think I've talked about this on the show before with various other people, and we've praised it so much in terms of how it's so well shot, despite it being a theater piece, which is generally not good for film. But they understood the dynamics of what needed to happen, as a theater piece shot on film. I mean, it's just so dynamic. The music, the nothing is clunky. I felt about it. The music is gorgeous. The lyrics are wonderful, and they're kind of they're not new to the scene, but they're I mean, compared to like older people, like who, I mean, I still feel I'm finding my way. That's like just like did they come already like I mean, I'm sure they came with a lot of potential, but like where were the areas, if you can talk about it,
Sure.
that you felt that you could help them with, like to steer them to a better.
It was a year-long process that we
Wow.
spent together. The first part was Terence wanted to rejuvenate his script. So the original script they had written was performed as a pilot to Changi General Hospital, and it got a really good reception. So they wanted to see how far the story could go. So the first part was working with Terence on I think in a way it was helping him decode his thoughts. Because at the end of the day, I don't want to take anything away from how much work he did on that script. So really, it was sort of teasing out things from his mind, helping him mind map it, talking about just like from an audience point of view, what am I receiving, that kind of thing. So I guess it's just a sounding board to him. And also sometimes it was telling him that's too cheesy, Terence, or why do you want to do that, and just get him to think about it. It's really tough being a mentor, because at the end of the day you don't want to tell anyone what to do. That's not your job as a mentor. You're there to kind of encourage, guide the way, and not let anyone fall off the edge, sort of thing. So it was a learning process for me as well, because many times, I mean, I've had 20 years experience. Many times I'm sort of seeing, where is that going? But letting it happen. Right. And then just nudging along the way. And I mean, Terence is a very, very smart guy, and he found his way back, and he found where he wanted to go with it. So that was the first part, and then the second part was in rehearsal. Right. So with the actors.
So you went from the story idea, sort of like tweaking that, making sure it's sharper, and it had reason to be, things had reason to be where they were. Then I guess the second part for me, I mean, if I'm putting myself in Terence's shoes, or as somebody who wants to put up a script, I would also probably go to a mentor and think, then how do I execute this? Like, what are the technical, like, because that would be foreign to me as well, and for you it would be something that you're so were there aspects of like, but then I guess it's also occurred to you because it was camera work, right?
Well, I've worked on camera before, so for me it was a translation. How do we translate? With Terence, it's also, I think it was one of the first major directing gigs that he had done, let alone on camera. So it was a mountain that he had in front of him. So again, it was just sort of telling him where he could go with the actors, how far to push them. I think with young actors, with young directors, you sometimes don't know how far can I push an actor to get what I need. You know, you're very kind, and that's not a bad thing, because you're figuring out how to talk to actors, but articulating yourself with them is a huge skill. Like making it very clear what you're looking for and how to get them there. So that was things he was learning along the way, and he did a great job, because I mean, if you see it and you get a chance to see it, then you see that he conquered that task of working with the actors and getting them to bring it. Because the thing on film is you have to see the emotions. You see it on stage, but you're that close. You know, the camera is that close. You can't. Yeah. So, and Terence has worked on film before, so he was more comfortable in the film medium.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Wow. Okay. Was there anything else you'd like to add about this experience?
Oh no. I mean, they're great. They're great. The show is great. It does great things. We're still selling it to schools and continue to do so, because I think
we're going to put links again in the video description, so you can,
you know, just like, it's a platform for people to talk about the issues that sometimes people don't want to talk about.
Yeah.
So it was wonderful, and we're going to see them do more stuff. So.
Yeah, hopefully. I'm sure they will. Fantastic. Okay, so now we're down to the last portion of our we're going to do a little casting session here. We're going to start off with what you can see here. I'm going to just pull this back a little bit. We have, so let's introduce the characters. Okay. We have Joy and I don't know, an anger, I guess, from Inside Out. And then we have Violet from The Incredibles and Syndrome from The Incredibles, and also Mr. Incredible. So we've got a sense of these three characters. And then we have Anna and Elsa from Frozen. We all know them. We have Jessie from Toy Story, Vanellope from Wreck-It Ralph. We have Randall from Monsters, Inc. We have Mikey. Who's Mikey? Who's Sully? I think he's Sully.
Yeah. He's Sully.
Mikey's the green one. Aladdin, and then we have Buzz Lightyear, and we have a fish, just in case. We have Dory.
Dory, yes.
Okay, so my first nursery rhyme to you is...
And I don't know this. I don't know what he's going to say.
I'm just going to choose... You can change it if it doesn't work out, but I'll say try to work with it. Mary had a little lamb. So who would be Mary and who would be the lamb here? Like, how would you?
Okay, so Mary had a little lamb.
Or you can run me through the process. Like you're going to go. Okay, these actors we need to find more.
Right.
Like or how do they have to match all that?
Wait. Okay. First of all, you go. What's the story? So Mary had a little lamb.
Right.
Was pleased with white snow. Everywhere that Mary went, the lamb was sure to go. Is that it?
Yeah. I mean, there are other verses, but let's just keep it to that.
Okay, keep it to that. Okay,
so how would you choose a good... So in your mind, do you think of like how it looks first? Like, is it a quirky Mary? Do you want or do you just look at the cast first? Like, what happens?
I think, do we want to like Mary or do we not want to like Mary?
Right.
So let's choose a character. Okay, so for this version, we're going to say we like Mary.
Okay.
But she's a little bit maybe forgetful, let's say.
Okay.
And she gets lost sometimes. So
and
let's go based on that.
Do we have to think of target audience also in terms of casting?
I guess we don't need to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is interesting. I mean, it's we're playing, but yet it's still relying on the principles of like what you go through. So it brings up something. I know. It's pretty interesting to see it this way.
Okay. So I mean, Elsa's a bit too strong to be a Mary.
Okay.
So we're not going to go with her.
I like that. I like the thought process.
Okay. Joy. Okay, Joy is a great candidate.
Okay, so
But you see, maybe it's too much joy. There's not enough levels. I think we need this story will be have more subtext. Okay, we'll put Joy back.
okay, but she's a candidate, right?
She was a short list. She was a short list.
Right.
Okay, I'm gonna have to wait. What was this character again?
As Vanellope, she's
Tell me about Vanellope.
So in Wreck-It Ralph, she is a lost princess.
Okay.
And she was very sad because I forget. Oh, she's just a loner, and she found a really good friend in Ralph. But her thing is she wanted to win the race.
Okay.
And then something happened where Ralph betrayed her. She felt that Ralph betrayed her, and then eventually things worked out. But then she discovered by the end of the race that she was actually a princess.
Goodness, that would be my Mary.
Okay.
There's a lot of layers of this Merry Little
Okay.
Lamb if we have her. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So then, in my head, being so traditional, I'll be like, then your lamb has to be shorter than Mary.
Oh, what?
But
no,
right?
No.
Okay. So I'm purposely throwing this so you can just go, no, Dwayne, like this is not how you think. Okay, so then so that's your Mary, right?
Yes.
I mean Anna's quite goofy.
She crossed my mind, but you see, I like to direct plays that are a little bit about human behavior and go into psychology of characters.
Right.
So I went with something a little bit more interesting.
Yeah.
So that we can take this Mary on a different
Very
road.
nice.
Yes. So that's Mary.
So
And I guess her lamb would have to be Dory.
Oh, who's forgetful, and that's why she got lost.
And got lost, and a bit of a fun character as well. So I think these two would be the perfect.
Very nice. Come watch Mary Had a Little Lamb, directed by Sam Scott Blackhall. Very
love
nice.
it.
Okay,
Yes.
so now we're going to the biopic.
Okay.
Biopic? What do you call it? Biopic, right? Okay, you're gonna laugh at me. Okay?
Oh, no.
This is gonna be about the recent 3 presidents of the United States. So we're gonna have to cast for Obama, Trump, and Biden.
Wow. Okay. Oh no, but you see, this is terrible, because my first thought was
Trump. Not, but this was my first thought. Anger.
I mean, yes, but then the orange hair.
Oh, of course. It didn't occur to me. Okay, sure.
And like I don't know. Anger, yes, was very good. So shortlisted, but looks the part.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he would be a great Trump.
So there's my Trump. Yeah.
In terms of color, though, we don't have someone for Obama in terms of color.
Well, that doesn't matter. We just look at character.
Right. So that's something to talk about too, right? Color in terms of. I mean, you.
Oh, have you got other characters?
You can pull out, but then you don't want to be. I don't know.
We can be. What is it called when you don't
against
look at?
not against type. When you don't look at colorblind casting.
We can do colorblind casting. So let's look at character. Someone well respected. Someone who seems to have it all together, who leads the people with wisdom and strength. Okay. Wow.
And then we have the whole idea of like, does only a man embody those characteristics, right?
Right, because I started looking at some of the female characters as well, and just thinking, I mean, would it be an Elsa? Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Right?
Elsa as Obama.
Idea.
Yeah, it's an idea for sure.
Yeah. Still makes some strong decisions.
Yep, but vulnerable.
Cares for the people.
Yep.
Okay. So there
all right, so you have your you have your
there they are.
You're in the front, and you're gonna look for your Biden. I don't know too much about Biden.
I don't know either.
I know he. Yeah, I mean he's pretty charismatic.
Yeah. Oh,
I mean,
gosh.
I have some thoughts.
Tell me your thoughts.
But I mean, but you're casting for this, so.
Okay, but you can be like casting director. What were your thoughts?
I mean, so like the he's got he's quite a good looking. He used to be very. I mean he's. Got this sort of face, the face that you would go to, the charismatic.
Okay.
it still has that charm. So I was gonna traditionally go for these two, but I know
Yes,
they are
yes.
male, and I know they are very
Yes.
stereotypical
Yes,
of what I
yeah.
imagine Biden to be.
Yeah.
They're both stoic and
Yeah. Yeah.
and you know, angular jaw and very
Mhm,
like
mhm.
the
So yes, if we were going for physical, I would say that these two. This one is a good choice.
yeah.
This
Yeah.
one is a good choice there. For
But
that.
if we were not going for physical, was there any
Oh. I don't know.
like
Man of the
squeaky
people.
clean?
Is he too? No, he's had a bit of a run
Yeah.
with the.
He's a
Law.
bit of he's
Yeah.
No.
Oh gosh. I mean, based on this. Oh.
I don't know
No,
Randall very well.
let's not go there. Okay.
you would
I think we're
think.
just gonna have to go
Awesome.
with who is it? Daddy Incredible.
Yes, Mr. Incredible.
Mr.
Yay!
Incredible.
Awesome. So there we have it. And for the last one, we're going to go with the Lord of the Rings, right? Was that
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lord of the
So
Rings.
that's
So you've-
major. Okay.
You're gonna be casting for, let's just say the main two hobbits,
Okay.
so Frodo and Sam.
Okay. Let's keep this simple.
And then sometimes is there an instance where you cast somebody as something and then you, as a character, and then you go, oh no, wait, hang on, because I have this and then I now have to swap. Like,
Yeah,
does
yeah,
that
yeah.
happen?
Oh yes, all the time.
Okay.
Where
so let's
you
see.
casting takes forever, because you're not only looking at, does this person emotionally, can they hit the highs and the lows,
Right.
physically can they portray the type of character,
And do they match each
and do
other?
they match each other?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big thing, because sometimes you do casting and then if the relationship between the actors don't work out, it could be really horrible. So
Yeah.
yes.
So you've got two hobbits.
Two hobbits.
Let's just go for the wise wizard Gandalf, right?
Okay, Gandalf.
And then the bad wizard Sauron.
Okay, oh my goodness.
So you've got
that's a
four,
lot. That's a
and
lot
then
to
you've
cast.
got. I'm gonna add two more just to make it
Oh
so
my
difficult.
gosh, okay.
Legolas the archer,
Okay,
the
okay.
elegant elf, and then the
Okay.
elf queen. So you've got six, and you've got
Okay, I bring Elsa back for Elf Queen.
great,
Okay,
easy choice.
done.
Yes, done. Galadriel.
Gandalf is a tough one. Let's go with Buzz
Sure,
for
okay.
Gandalf.
Why?
Just because he can fly.
Right. Yes. Okay.
Okay. Let's go for one of the hobbits. Look,
Okay.
big feet.
Yeah. Perfect.
Big feet. This
Very
can
nice.
be. This can be
He's a
Sam.
bit goofy.
Is
Okay.
he Sam?
Yeah,
The other
Sam.
one, Sam, a bit goofy.
Then you want a lead hobbit, right?
Oh, you need a lead hobbit. Oh, here.
Aladdin. Yes. Great. Yeah.
Aladdin,
Diamond in the
yes.
rough.
He's not even wearing shoes. It's perfect.
Perfect. So the two of
Okay.
them,
Okay.
and then you have the two. Wait.
This was Gandalf.
So
This
you
was
need
the what's her name?
the elf queen. So
Okay.
you need another elf, which is your archer, Legolas,
Oh
and
my
you need
gosh,
the
yeah.
villain.
Okay, Legolas, the archer can be.
Yeah.
Oh wait.
I mean, she lassos with her.
Yeah, true. But
Jessie
look,
has
we
the aim.
forgot
Yeah,
about
Violet. I think that's her
Violet.
name. She turns invisible, does she? She's
Yes.
pretty stealthy.
She's stealthy. She's got long hair. She is.
She's your
She's gonna
Legolas.
be Legolas.
All right, and now you just have one left,
Who's
and
that?
that's the
Is
evil
that the
Sauron.
Oh, Sauron. Okay. Let's go with
Perfect! Yay! Yes.
casting complete.
Fantastic. That was very insightful. Strange. I didn't expect the layers to come out of this little
Yes.
rubbish exercise, but
So
I
fun.
learned something about it. And then you have all the actors that didn't get cast, and they're complaining and bitching
yeah,
over
that's
tea, right?
That doesn't happen.
That doesn't happen. No, not at all. Great. Thank you so much for coming on. It was so much fun and so insightful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Dwayne and I worked together a very long time ago.
Yes, we did a show called The Quest for the Paper Gifts, and we also
Yes.
worked on another show called Manhood.
Yes, we did.
For Action Theatre. Ekachai, by the way, I just love celebrating everyone, is now directing films and TV series in Bangkok. You can find something on Netflix as well. He's got an anthology. I think it's a gay anthology of it is, right?
Yeah.
All right. Cool. So I'll put a link there in the description as well. Thank you so much, Sam.
My pleasure. Thanks for sitting through and listening to us.
Yep. Take care. Bye.
Bye.